Marcus is 34 years old. He works in financial analytics at a mid-sized firm in Columbus, Ohio. Last year, he made $91,000. He's good at his job, meticulous, reliable, fast. He runs reports, cleans data sets, builds the same Excel models he's built for 6 years, and he genuinely doesn't know that his entire role was quietly replicated by an AI workflow last quarter. His manager hasn't said anything yet. But the job posting that replaced his position, reframed as an AI oversight analyst, is already sitting in the company's internal draft folder at $62,000. Then there's Diane. She's 41, works in the same city, makes $88,000 as a UX researcher. Her job involves sitting across from real human beings, watching them struggle with interfaces, reading the frustration in their faces before they can even articulate it. She's been asked to collaborate with 3 AI tools this year. Every single one of them made her more productive. Her salary offer just came in at $112,000. Same field, same city, completely different trajectory. Both of these people work in white-collar jobs in 2026. A line most people don't realize exists until it's drawn directly through their paycheck. If you're someone who is watching AI headlines and wondering whether your income is actually safe, not someday, but this year, subscribe and like this video. It will help more than you think. Here's the framing most people have wrong. They think this is a story about whether AI is coming for their job. That's the wrong question. The right question is, which half of your job description does AI improve, and which half does it erase? McKinsey's research estimates that AI could theoretically automate about 57% of current U.S. work hours. Not 57% of jobs, 57% of the hours inside those jobs, the tasks that take up your Tuesday, the report drafts, the scheduling, the inbox management, the data pulls. That portion of your week is already being handed over at companies that are ahead of the curve. What's left after those hours disappear isn't nothing. What's left is the part that requires you to be human in a room with another human. Judgment, accountability, the ability to tell a client that the numbers don't tell the whole story and to have them believe you. Think of it like a 2-lane highway. AI is widening one lane at incredible speed. The workers who figured out how to drive in both lanes, they're moving faster than ever. The ones who stayed in the lane that's being repaved, they're sitting in traffic. The 5 skills below are not about competing with AI. They're about driving in the lane that AI cannot pave. The first skill is what I'd call directed human judgment. This is the ability to take AI output and decide what it actually means in the real world. AI can generate a market analysis in 4 seconds. What it cannot do is walk into a room with a nervous client and say, based on 20 years of reading people, this projection is technically correct, but it's going to terrify them. So here's how we present it. That gap between output and wisdom is where the highest paying work now lives. According to Upwork's 2026 In-Demand Skills Report, demand for AI-integrated roles grew 109% year over year. Every single one of those roles required a human at the top of the chain making calls the model couldn't make. The second skill is complex communication, not writing, not communication skills as a line on a resume. I mean the specific ability to translate ambiguity in markets, in organizations, in legal agreements, into language that non-experts can act on. Goldman Sachs estimates that as much as 15% productivity gains could come from AI adoption in white-collar industries. But that productivity only converts into value when someone can communicate the implications clearly enough that decisions actually get made. This is why personal financial advisors are projected to grow 13% through 2032, despite AI tools flooding the market. Clients don't just want data, they want someone who can sit across from them and make the complexity feel manageable. The third skill is emotional intelligence under pressure, not empathy in the abstract. Emotional intelligence in the specific situations where something is going wrong and a human being is scared or angry or overwhelmed. This is Marcus's blind spot. He can run a model. He cannot read the room when a client is about to walk. Diane can. A Stanford research framework identified emotional intelligence as one of the 4 capabilities that AI systematically cannot replicate, along with creativity, physical dexterity, and ethical judgment. These 4 things share a common feature. They are not pattern recognition tasks. They require context that no training set can fully encode. The fourth skill is cross-disciplinary synthesis, the ability to pull a thread from one industry and apply it to a completely different problem. This is what AI, despite being trained on everything, is structurally weak at, because synthesis requires knowing which information to ignore. A nurse practitioner who understands behavioral economics. A supply chain manager who understands environmental regulation. A marketer who can read a financial statement. These people are not specialists anymore. They're translators between worlds that are colliding, and the collision is happening faster than anyone planned for. The IMF's January 2026 workforce analysis found that 1 in 10 job postings in advanced economies now requires at least one skill that wasn't considered standard for that role 5 years ago. The fifth skill, and in 2026 the most immediate one, is AI orchestration. This is not coding. It's not prompt engineering as a technical discipline. It's the practical ability to direct AI tools toward a specific outcome, evaluate the output critically, and integrate it into professional-grade work. Upwork's data showed AI video generation skills growing 329% year over year. AI integration skills up 178%. Data annotation up 154%. The workers capturing that growth are not AI engineers. They're marketing managers and project leads and operations analysts who learned to use the tools better than their peers, then charged a premium for the combined output. This is the fastest skill to acquire, and in 2026, it's still the most underused competitive advantage available to anyone who isn't an entry-level worker whose tasks just evaporated. Here's the part that matters, and I want to say it plainly. The workers who are most exposed right now are not the ones people expect. It's not just warehouse workers or call center employees. It's mid-career white-collar workers, people like Marcus, who spent a decade getting very good at a narrow set of tasks that AI can now do in seconds, and they're exposed in a specific way that's hard to see until it's too late. They aren't being fired. They're being quietly unmade. Their roles are being restructured around them. Their raises are being redirected. Their job titles are shifting in ways that look like promotions but carry lower salaries on the back end. Brookings found that 6.1 million U.S. workers are at the intersection of high AI exposure and low adaptive capacity. That's not a number. That's $31,000 a year, no emergency fund, and you're living 45 minutes outside Cincinnati in a market with 3 major employers, 2 of which just restructured their HR departments around AI. The trap is not ignorance. The trap is having one skill instead of 5. So what does someone actually do with this? The first move is an honest audit. List every recurring task in your job, then go through them one by one and ask, could a well-prompted AI tool produce this in under 10 minutes? If the answer is yes for more than half your list, you are in the lane that's being repaved. That's not a disaster. It's information, and it's the only honest starting point. The second move is to pick one of the 5 skills and build evidence of it, not a course certificate, actual evidence. Diane didn't just have emotional intelligence. She had a case study she could point to, a client retention situation where she identified a UX friction point that no algorithm had flagged, and she could walk a hiring manager through how she found it and what it saved. That specificity is worth more than a LinkedIn badge. I've been running my own business for over a decade, and the pattern I've seen consistently is this. The people who get paid more are not the ones who learned more. They're the ones who made what they know visible in situations where it was worth something. The third move is to build one AI skill into your current role in the next 60 days, not a side project, inside your existing job. Find the most time-consuming, repeatable task on your list, learn the tool that handles it, and free up 6 hours a week. Then do something with those 6 hours that only you can do. That's what Diane did in 2024. By 2026, she had a track record of AI-assisted research that was 40% faster than her previous output, and a promotion offer based on what she did with the time she got back. Marcus's job posting is still sitting in that draft folder. Maybe his manager never opens it. Maybe the company restructures in a different direction and he gets 3 more years, but the shape of his situation is already set. He has one skill, executed well, in a role that AI has already learned to replicate. at a fraction of the cost. Diane's offer letter is sitting in her inbox. She's thinking about whether to negotiate. They both work in the same city. They both have the same number of hours in a week. The difference between them is not intelligence or effort or luck. It's 5 skills versus 1. And the good news, the thing that actually matters here, is that skills are not fixed. The lane is still open. The only question is how long you wait before you get in it. If this video helped you think differently about where you stand, subscribe and drop a comment below. Tell me which of the 5 skills you're going to build first. I read every single one.